This game taught me many important life lessons, such as if you touch Fuzzy, well, you know what happens. Welcome to Green Mushrooms, the channel where we discuss the power of video games to have a positive impact on our lives. Today, we're talking about Yoshi's Island, one of my favourite games when I was a child, if not my actual favourite. Why? Let's get into it. So, what is a Yoshi's Island? Well, it's a platformer from 1995 starring a dinosaur, or several dinosaurs, called Yoshi. It's supposedly a sequel to Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, though to tell you the truth, it looks and feels very different from that game. This was the first of several Yoshi platformer games which are still being made today, the most recent one being Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch. What's the story? The game is a sort of prequel to the Mario series, as Mario, Luigi and even Bowser are all babies. Kamek, a wizard babysitter for baby Bowser, attacks the stork delivering Mario and Luigi to their parents. He kidnaps baby Luigi but fails to snatch up Mario, whose baby bundle ends up plummeting hopelessly towards the ocean. This is actually quite sinister when you think about it. Anyway, luckily for baby Mario, he doesn't land in the sea, but on an island of ravenous dinosaurs. Nice, baby-loving dinosaurs who decide to go on an epic quest to reunite baby Mario with his brother. Now, if you think the story sounds a little weird, that's because it is. And this incredibly strange, but wonderfully imaginative vibe continues throughout the rest of the game. The first boss you face is called Bert the Bashful. Bert the Bashful. And why is Bert so bashful, I hear you ask? Well, because in order to defeat him, Yoshi must pull down his pants. Bert quite literally dies of embarrassment. Yeah, well done, Yoshi. And I'm sure that's the peace sign you're giving me there, baby Mario. So that brings me to one of the big reasons I love this game so much. It's genuinely funny. Like this stress-inducing part where you're being chased by a giant chain chomp. If you make it to the end, he cracks his teeth on the wall and cries. And Yoshi just stands there smiling at his pain.
His tears give Yoshi sustenance.
Actually, when thinking about it, I'm not sure we can really call Yoshi the hero of this game. Sure, he may be fighting for the rights of babies not to be snatched away from their parents. But then on the other hand, he does the exact same thing. Why is it a feature of this game that you can take ducklings away from their mother and throw them at enemies like eggs? I have no idea, but it's hilarious. So, what else is good about this game? The platforming is fantastic. Yoshi is easy to control, helped significantly by his flutter jump move, which allows him to hover briefly in the air. Now, one might argue that this could make the game too easy, but it doesn't. It balances the challenge. Speaking of that, Yoshi platformers have a bit of a reputation for being easy, or shall we say, casual gamer friendly. But that trend didn't start until later. Yoshi's Island on the SNES is challenging and actually, it can be quite stressful. Why stressful, you ask? Yeah, that's right. If Yoshi gets hit, the baby floats away in a bubble, screaming. And if you don't get him back before the timer runs out, he's gone. Also, there are spikes and pits that kill you instantly. You wouldn't expect a game that looks like it's been drawn by a child with crayons to be so brutal, but it is. And there's something about that contrast that just makes me feel warm inside. Visually, this game blew my mind as a kid. It uses the Super FX chip to create 3D and enhanced 2D effects that were not yet common at the time. And these were not just for show. They were used in the gameplay to create unique challenges that I, at least, as a child had never seen before. One example is the final boss. Now, I like to keep things spoiler-free, and even though this game is from 1995, if you don't want to see the final boss, skip ahead now. As you can imagine, the final boss is Baby Bowser. When he sees Yoshi, he thinks he's some sort of green donkey and just wants to ride him, pushing baby Mario off into his bubble. Something about this is just so hilariously adorable. Seeing this notorious baddie starting out as just a selfish child who doesn't want to share. You see, this game is full of important life lessons. Remember to share, kids, and don't do fuzzy. So, when Yoshi successfully beats up the baby, yeah, what a hero, Kamek the babysitter casts a spell and makes baby Bowser massive. How massive? Mind-blowingly massive, Godzilla-size massive. Then there's this sinister music as a shadowy figure emerges far in the distance. Then, the music turns rocky and the battle commences. The monster baby bombards you with rocks and fireballs while marching menacingly towards you. You try to keep him at bay, throwing giant eggs to knock him back, but he keeps coming closer and closer. For me, as a child, this was the definition of epic. It got my blood pumping and made me feel badass. And to be honest, it still does to this day. And that's another thing. This game makes you feel like you're going on a real adventure. The lands you traverse are varied, from monkey jungle to frozen peaks. The gameplay is always expanding. One moment you're a dinosaur, the next you're a helicopter or a car or a baby superhero. The music perfectly communicates the vibes of the places you visit, cheerful and bouncy, or spooky and mysterious. The whole experience is magical. I played it through quite recently for this review, and it was the first time I had played it in maybe 10 years or so. There are a few frustrating parts, which I also remember were frustrating back in the day, including this slow-moving platform section, which my girlfriend accurately described as something that looks like it was made by a troll in Mario Maker. However, overall, Yoshi's Island is a joyful, hilarious, and magical experience. It was a huge part of my childhood, and it still holds a special place in my heart to this day. And that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing or dropping it a like. Look after yourselves out there, and until next time, goodbye.